That hurt. More verticality. All right. Welcome to the Great Red Fucking Card. After 25 minutes of technical issues with my fucking head about to explode. God, what the hell was that?
Dude, I asked you to share your screen with audio once and your computer burst into flames. What the hell?
Yeah, it froze the whole fucking
God
thing
damn.
up. It's like, yeah, that's, you know, the thing is, I do have the Movavi player up. I've got all these files up for the show. It's got to be something where my laptop was just like, that's enough.
It committed seppuku.
Yeah, cannot handle this any longer. But yeah, I would get back on and I could hear you.
Goddamn.
And you couldn't hear me. And I even did mic tests and it said, yeah, your mic's working just fine. I'm like, no, it isn't. You can't hear me.
I had to end the session and we all had to join back up. Oh man, what a fun excursion. I had to go make a new drink. It was a blast. Oh man. And you know what? The payoff of this joke's just not going to be worth it, but I'm still going to do it. Okay.
All right. What is it?
Well, hold on. I gotta share my screen since I've got a computer that won't die on me. So we're on. Oh, you can see my whole screen. There's nothing bad up here. I minimized all my porn, so I'm good.
All right, good. Smart move.
Okay. So Derek, how is your French?
It's horrible. My French is horrible.
Excellent. So if I were to type, and this would have been a lot more fun if I had Derek doing it on his end rather than me just jumping into it. But let's just say translating a phrase from English to French. Yeah. I want you to try to pronounce it, and then we're gonna play the actual audio. Okay.
This isn't gonna be some fromage joke, is it?
No.
Some Richard Fromage joke. Okay.
Here it is in English.
50-10 Hull.
50-10 Hull.
A 50-10 Hull translates in French to cinquante dicks cock. Kaku. Kaku?
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
50 coq. 50 coq.
You gotta be kidding me.
50 coq.
Suck on these cock is how it's pronounced. Huh.
50 coq.
That's pretty. I hope the sound is.
We're gonna get demonetized for that.
But when would you really say that? You know,
no, never. But I mean, what a fake language! I swear to God.
It's a beautiful language, Brett. Come on, it's one of the romantic languages.
I told yesterday. I told Evie about it. And so later on in the night, I go, you up for 50-10 holing?
What? Ooh, yeah. Smart. Slick.
Hey. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. It's worth a try, though. Worth a try. I guess this is the part of the show that one guy on Facebook says it's like metal pieces being thrown in a blender to him. He's like, yeah, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't get through 30 seconds. I'm like, well, hey, to each his own then, buddy. Anyhow,
that's for his wife then.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a bag of fucking fun at parties. I'm sure he's a blast to be around. Sound like a real frumpster. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about some of the transfers that are coming up, right? Yeah, the ones that didn't happen in already happened. So we know Cole Bassett's going to Feyenoord. We already talked about that, actually. So it's fine move. Extra challenge for himself.
Turns out, though, Colorado signed him to another 3-year extension and then loaned him out for a year and a half.
Well, they're smart. They want money.
Money.
So if this whole thing works out a year and a half, at Feyenoord, they might be willing to purchase, and then they'll get a percentage of any purchase that's passed on from there.
Give me 2 seconds here.
Right.
I got something about that actually, about Feyenoord. Feyenoord? Am I pronouncing that properly?
Feyenoord, yeah.
Feyenoord.
Feyenoord.
How fucking far back was this shit? Jesus Christ.
Oh, is this some Twitter shit?
Yeah.
Somebody said some stuff on Twitter about Feyenoord.
So yeah, Feyenoord said Feyenoord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They said, liking this American boy.
What? That's on their official site.
Hashtag cool kid Cole.
Okay. I've never
Man.
really thought of Cole Bassett as being cool.
It's just bad phrasing. Liking this American boy.
Yeah, he's a boy. I think he's over 18, isn't he?
Yeah, probably.
But I think that makes him closer to a young man. That'd be a young man. Maybe they need to learn though that kind of stuff at Feyenoord.
Ooh.
Calling him a boy is a little bit okay. Well, that's getting off to a good start. They already think he's a boy. Hopefully he can put on his man boots.
I'm just concerned why they're liking boys.
Well, they don't know any better, and we don't know what goes on
This
there.
man.
Yeah. And then
this man.
we already talked about Acosta being upset about being traded to LAFC, so we don't need to cover that again. But the whole Arriola DC to Club America thing.
Well, it plays into it. Let's quickly cover a couple things about Kellyn. Okay.
All right.
So we talked about how he was being traded off to LAFC, and then Colorado and a bunch of pundits came out and said, like, oh yeah, all the interest abroad, it wasn't really there. And then Kellyn came back out and said, this narrative is sad. Colorado pushed me out. They had an offer for me on the table from abroad, an ongoing interest, and they opted to trade me.
Yeah, because they're going to get GAM and TAM money for
TAM.
And that counts a lot more towards what they can spend, Colorado.
Yep.
Than they would have gotten had they just outright sold him.
Maybe if MLS
Europe
would drop some of their goofy ass rules like that. I think at this point the owners are not out to make the quick buck and then throw out the shitty team. I think they're realizing that continuing to improve their market value helps. So even if they don't put all the money towards player development or more acquisitions, I think a larger chunk of that should go to it. Or if not, just say, hey, here, it's your money. You do with it how you see fit.
Well, the reason they had to start this funny money business was because Garber and some of the other owners, like in Seattle, wanted to raise the basic salary cap higher than it is now. And the old schoolers in New England and other places said no. They're on the board too, and they said no, we don't want to raise the salary cap any faster than it's raising now. And so Garber said, well, fuck you then. I'm going to create this funny money shit called TAM and GAM, and I'm going to get around the salary cap. And so teams can spend more money than just the basic cap ceiling. And he's been doing that. That's one thing you can say that Garber's done right, is he has found ways to get around the salary cap by, of course, the DP rule, then TAM, then GAM.
I think good for the teams who push back though, because now they got this huge chunk of funny money to spend, and they're not spending a dime on it. I mean, they may spend a dime on it other ways, I guess.
Oh, they're spending that money.
No. I'm saying they don't have to, so when the salary cap increases, that means that the clubs and the owners are going to have to pony up more cash for the salary cap.
Yeah.
Whereas now that they forced Garber into creating this funny money, this scam TAM, all of a sudden they're like, well, I don't have to pay for, I don't have to spend my money on this scam TAM. This is going to go towards paying down DPs and to make sure they're not DPs, so I can bring in somebody else who would fill that DP slot.
Right.
So that's just, like I said, good on the owners for playing hardball and still getting money out of it in the end.
Why is it good on them? I just like to see the salary cap raised higher. And
I'm talking about as far as the business side is concerned. Good for them. No, I'm not saying it's good for the league or anything like that. I would much rather the salary cap go up. Or, I mean, do you think the league is stable enough now that they could actually nix the salary cap?
No, not during.
Well, okay, fair point on that. Fair point on that.
Not during the Rona, I should say. I'm
going
to cut that other C word out. But
while we're talking about the funny money, the GAM TAM, I know Gomez posted a video about it. They talked about it on their show and stuff like that, and he tweeted about it. I thought one of a really good tweet about it something that a lot of people don't address when they talk about the GAM TAM is as far as the percentage of the transfer fee going towards the player. So he talked about how like a lot of teams, and I don't know if it's universal, if this is a FIFA rule or not, but the teams you get like the player gets like 10% of the transfer fee. So
Yes.
in this situation, there's no actual transfer. They're just here. You take some of this funny money, you give us that player.
Yes.
I don't know if that's necessarily considered a transfer, and then all of a sudden Acosta's losing out on some money there.
Oh, yes.
Whereas if he got shipped abroad, I mean, he'd be seeing a decent paycheck.
Yes, he would. So you can understand why he was pissed and why he, said what he said.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any animus towards LAFC. He was just pissed at
Well, I
Colorado.
mean, it's his future home. He can't. I wouldn't go into it like that either.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's pissed off that he missed. I mean, that's a solid chunk. I mean, if it is 10%, and let's just say somebody owned up $1 million. I mean,
Yep.
That's what 100 grand right there going into your pockets.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yep.
Anybody would be pissed.
Yeah, I don't blame him, but I don't know what teams were interested in him, and I don't know how serious the interest was. So there's that too.
I'd be shocked if there was any, if the interest was there, which he alludes that there was, that it'd be anything less than $1 million, obviously. So, I mean, assuming that it's higher than that, I mean, again, that's still a massive chunk of change that it's no longer going into his bank account. So either way, he's in the right for being pissed off.
I guess
he's got to be moving on.
He's like a $2 million player. I don't know what his market value is right now. Should have gone to
point, but didn't Vines get like $2 million?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Acosta's a lot older, and
fair point, but he's also more accomplished, and he's a consistent national team player.
Yeah, but they don't care about that as much as sell-on value. And if you're already 27, 28 years old,
I'm with you now. I get you.
Yeah. You're pretty much your sell-on value is gone, especially if
regardless,
you're going to
$2 million.
It's probably with some small team in Belgium that wanted him, or Holland or whatever, for all we know.
I wonder if what his new salary is going to be in comparison to Colorado. So I wonder if, he missed out. Let's just say if it was $2 million, say he missed out on that $200,000 paycheck. Now, I guess he's also going to get a higher salary there too, or I don't know necessarily if it's higher. I wonder if
I don't know.
Going to make it up though. If they're going to make it up to him with the amount of money he makes, I don't know.
I don't know. He already made a good chunk of change in Colorado. So,
Herc was talking about how Colorado made him a millionaire. So,
yeah. So, I mean, he's had a good time there, and I mean, they didn't treat him nicely as he left, but it seems like they're just, trading away their whole fucking team. It's like Bassett, Vines.
Well, they can't have
Acosta.
a success like this. They need to start from scratch and be crappy again. It's Colorado way.
Yep, that's true.
Way.
Yeah, and it's Chicago's way too. And then Herc also made that video that said Ricardo Pepi needs to start scoring goals. Jesus, just got off the plane, folks.
I mean, he's barely scraped a game, a full game, like maybe like a game and a half so far.
Yeah, and
he had a goal called off, unlucky due to the foul. We talked about that. Yeah. I mean, seems a little early to be running, pulling,
Jesus, we didn't say that about Sargent when he got there. We gave him some time to settle in, and they're the same age when they both arrived, 18. So yeah, give Pepi a minute here.
Well, I guess when Sargent went to Bremen, I mean, his first year, I think he made about like 2 games the entire season.
Yeah, of course he scored pretty early on, so that made him feel good. But
scoring always does.
Kicker giving him Kicker in Germany, the magazine rating or the website rating Pepi a 4.5 when 1 is best and 6 is the worst. They gave him almost a 5. Frankly, that's harsh.
That really threw my whole shtick of it was about a slightly below average game, assuming it was out of 10.
Yeah.
Yep. And not only that, but like it's out of 6, but the 1's the best. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, we're all on the same page.
You're number 1.
Yeah.
You're number 1. I guess that's kind of how they think. Then we've got this big rumor that Turner is being courted by Arsenal, and Taylor Twellman went on Twitter. You sent it to me, and It's like, yeah, this is awesome. Is it? Is it really awesome? I don't know. Will he ever play? Will he just end up riding pine like Stefan?
And Horvath?
I hope it's more like Stefan than Horvath.
Yeah, at least get some cup games in there, sure.
Yeah. I don't know about that being a good move, folks. I mean, you've got Bert Leno on there. I get he has not been playing a lot. They've, I think, gone more with Aaron Ramsdale this year. But is he a better keeper than Aaron Ramsdale? I mean, he's a better, although, God, Ramsdale's made some incredible stops this year. I don't know.
So, yeah, this is an interesting one because if the interest is there, let's just say if Arsenal actually is interested in him, in Turner. I mean, the payday's there. You get that transfer we talked about with Acosta. And he gets to live out an opportunity that most people would die for, is to go and play for a big team and hope to God he makes the starting lineup at some point. But he's at a point now where he's like a top goalkeeping option in MLS. He's got a number 1/number 2 spot for the men's national team. Do you really want to rock the boat? I know we talked about Miles Robinson, this entire Robinson and anybody else moving abroad. We talked about this with them and saying like, yeah, you need to go there and test yourself.
Yes,
but I don't know if Turner is going to be all of a sudden immediately grasping the foot game and
I mean
getting that much better.
Arsenal do know
Cup,
that Arsenal hopefully know that he's got some work to do with his feet. Or Arsenal trying to go down the Chelsea path and just buy a bunch of fucking players and loan them out all the time. Or maybe they're going to get rid of Bernd Leno and they need a backup for Ramsey. I don't know what the situation.
I wouldn't be opposed to say him signing with Arsenal and getting loaned out to say like a championship team or something like that, where he could fight for a spot.
Fight for a spot. He better be starting if he's in the championship.
Let's rephrase that too. Yeah, but I mean, the idea of him going to Arsenal and then just sitting the bench, going into the final year of World Cup and all. At that point, our three quote unquote top goalkeeping options are all sitting the bench.
Yeah.
And so everybody's taking the opportunity on Twitter to poke fun at the people who say like, oh, Stefan's sitting bench, so Turner should be number 1. So now with Turner being sitting the bench, if he goes to Arsenal,
and there's a real
Sean
chance
Johnson becomes the number 1 goalkeeper.
Exactly. Or Brad Guzan or whomever. Somebody
posted that and they go, Slonina.
No,
he's on his way to Man U. Damn it.
No, he's not.
He's not. Not
that year. That rumor was, and then what's the other rumor? Juventus was the other rumor.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, you'd love that one. That's on Transfer Market and it has a question mark next to it. So obviously for them, it's just a rumor too.
Goalkeepers.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Well, so I don't know if that's the transfer that Matt Turner really wants to make, and he'd just be putting himself at risk, maybe even by never playing another game for the rest of the year. That would be horrible, and it would be bad for the U.S. men's national team to have him and Stefan and Horvath all riding pine for the most part in Europe. Not good for us. Oh, did you notice that? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's stick with goalkeepers real quickly because this one's gonna be a fast one because you're not familiar with them. But apparently, Bruges is looking to increase their American market by expressing interest for Chicago Fire goalkeeper Chris Brady.
Well, Brady, I'd look at the writing on the wall for Horvath, for Odasawi. I don't know if Bruges is the spot for players. So, you got to look at the track record. Even though you're comparing apples to oranges, you really need to look at the track record of the club. Do they play younger players? So far, no. And I'm not saying it's all their fault either. Odasawi apparently.
I think the Horvath issue may have been their fault, given that they had the number 2 goalkeeper, right?
Well, they brought in Mignolet.
Yeah.
From the Premier League, and he immediately started, and Horvath's time there was done for the most part.
It's a shame he didn't get any cup games or anything like that, but still,
And
same
they-
situation
yeah.
he's at now.
I mean, he got a couple cup games there, here and there, but not every single one of them either.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't even get cup games, EFL cup games for fucking Nottingham Forest. I mean, we're talking about they're playing like Accrington Stanley or something like that. I'm just making teams up at this point, but
Yeah.
come
So
on.
for those people that aren't familiar who Chris Brady is, he's a 17-year-old goalkeeper for Chicago who's been loaned out to Forward Madison, and he started all 9 games that he's since he went there last season. So like the second half of last season for Forward Madison, who plays in USL. And God, I'm going off pure memory here, but I'm pretty sure he got like goalkeeper of the year for them, or maybe for the league. I don't even know.
For USL?
Yeah, for USL.
Really?
USL 1, I think they play in the second division of USL.
Yeah. That's another one of Wilt's teams.
Yeah.
Didn't he start that one too?
Yes, he did.
That's all he does. He just goes from city to city and starts soccer teams.
He's Johnny Appleseed, but with soccer.
Oh, all right. So I hate these. So by the way, IU's now losing to Purdue. Nope, they're back up again.
Whoop.
We've got 16.9 seconds left on the board versus Purdue. Now, see, Brett and I are both IU grads,
Yeah,
so this is something I still watch. Yeah, it was a good shot. So we're back in the lead by 1 point with seconds left in the game. Anyhow, did you see that guy? What's his name? Watke, the guy who makes like the 50-second videos.
Yeah.
And he made that one about Hoppe. He said, Matthew Hoppe is back and annoying as ever.
Yeah. Hoppe the second video. Yeah, that was a fun one. Have you seen the first one?
There's another Hoppe's annoying video.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna pull it up here and we're gonna watch it.
I did not know.
You keep talking about it though, okay?
All right. Well, I'll just keep on babbling, I guess. But no, I mean, and it was funny because his uncle posted that up on one of the Facebook pages and was like, annoying or whatever. It's like, yeah, but annoying in a good way.
It is. Yeah, it's annoying for the other team, not in general. So
yeah, he basically threw his arms up and said, no, you can't throw it in.
Yeah.
It's like he was playing basketball.
He does a great job. His Berhalter videos are great too, but the back passes and the bounce passes.
Oh yeah,
ball.
There's another one I'm gonna get into in the next segment that he made about Berhalter that I just thought was hilarious. I just didn't want to use it up all in one show. But yeah, I watched a different one today. You're gonna make me watch this right now, huh?
I'm working on it, trying to find the video.
All right, I'll just cut all this shit out.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Little Sweet's back for Dr. Pepper.
Little what?
Little Sweet, back on the Dr. Pepper commercials.
I gotcha.
The little Prince like figure.
Yeah.
They have. He's back. No, it's not big news or
It's down
anything.
there. That's where it's at. Okay. All right.
The key to the game was being annoying enough that we eventually won, and Matthew Hoppe was a major part of that. He is just a super annoying player. Look at everything about him. An outstanding addition to the attitude set of our player pool. I'm a huge fan of everything he does, especially that. The technique there is good, but what's really special is he just lies completely still after for a while. Subtle, but somehow I actually think it's one of the most annoying things he did all game. People started to compare him to Clint Dempsey, but really I think he has the potential to be way more annoying than Clint Dempsey. That's just down to his face. I think he can get to the, have the edge of Clint Dempsey, but then just take it to a whole different level by just, I don't know. I think there's just something about his manner. There's a long way to go, but I think he can do it. He's annoying enough that we eventually won.
Yeah, that's good. He's annoying in the right way. Hey, IU won 68-65 over number 4 Purdue.
Suck it,
in
Boilermakers.
Basketball. Suck it, Lafayette. So I think we're done here. I don't know. I don't have anything else for this particular show.
Oh, no, we need to talk about Arriola.
Why? Oh, because
Why?
he's not going to Club America. It's not happening.
Well, okay.
Right?
Are you familiar with the whole thing then?
Well, what thing am I missing? He doesn't
So-
want
so
to play in
sim-
any club but an MLS club.
So no. Okay. Well, clearly didn't get my last text then about this.
Okay, what happened?
Okay. We're gonna do it like this, and just so you have visuals while we're talking about it. But
Okay.
similar to the Kellyn Acosta thing, Stephen Goff came out and said, apparently, from what I'm hearing from sources, is Paul Arriola has withdrew interest of going abroad, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
And so
I got that part.
Paul Arriola came back and said this. Arriola, quote unquote, Arriola withdrew interest, and a emoji of him thinking. Like,
What?
This is a fascinating scenario that we're looking at two like record GAM-TAM transfers within the league, and both players are like, I had fucking interest abroad. I never withdrew interest. What the hell?
Yeah, got that wrong.
This is some sketchy shit going on.
Well, and
The players.
Stephen Goff is usually pretty reliable.
You know what?
too, so-
I'm not doubting Steven on this, quite frankly. I'm sure he heard from people that he withdrew interest. I just think he may have been lied to.
He was lied to by somebody at DC United.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
definitely what happened. They're like, yeah, he withdrew the interest, not us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What? No, you withdrew. You're saying that so you can justify trading him to another MLS team and getting GAM and TAM.
I mean, FC Dallas is actually ponying up like, God, what the hell was it? It was like $2 million GAM-TAM or something like that.
Yeah,
it was a ridiculous sum. Well, of course, DC United's going to be like, yeah, the whole thing with Club America had fizzled. It fizzled. No worry here.
because we can spend that GAM and TAM because they can't spend money if they just do a transfer or whatever to Club America. They're not going to get to spend that money.
And I don't know if the rules have changed, and I haven't gone back to take a look. But I know when it first came out, like with the transfer rules and stuff like that, because for the longest time, MLS was like anti-transfer. Like they did not want to transfer players abroad. They just like wanted to hold on to their talent, grow the league. And you can make an argument one way or another. It's not fair for the fan or for the players, but to gain that stability of the league, I can understand why they may have decided that. Regardless, they eventually started looking at transfer options, and the fees that they were going to get, it was like a third of that fee. And this is me trying to remember from my mind years and years and years and years ago, and I don't know if it's changed. Like a third of the fee went to the league. A third of the fee went to like the owners to pay for just like maintaining the club, like the stadium costs,
right, yeah,
all of the staff and stuff like that. And then the other third went to players that you could spend on players. So
yeah, well,
I don't know if that rule has changed and those digits have changed, but that's what it used to be. So the concept of getting like 2 million GAM-TAM, over $2 million in a transfer fee, you can do a lot more of that 2 million GAM-TAM, which is what Hercules was saying.
Yep.
Than
Exactly.
you can with what you're going to receive for player acquisition from the transfer itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you make a transfer to any team abroad, not within the MLS system, and it's a full transfer, and you make $10 million, you should be able to spend whatever you want that year. You want of that 10 million on more players. I mean, should be a reward for developing young players that you sell overseas. You get the 20 million. You're like, now I got 20 million above the cap I can spend.
So what's fascinating about the fee in that sense, though, because I mean, if you did transfer, let's say they transferred him to Club America and they took the 2 million transfer fee. Well, of course, Arriola gets his cut, and then it's dispersed. But that third that MLS gets would probably just go into the GAM-TAM that all the other clubs are going to get anyways.
Yeah.
So your acceptance of the transfer abroad is actually going to paying for other clubs to use funny money to expand their club and improve their roster. So just taking the funny money itself in a transfer makes financial business sense.
Yeah. And we should incentivize this, folks. I mean, if you sell a player abroad for $20 million and you get to plop it into your cap space, even if you only want to do 10 million of it one year and 10 the other, that money should be free money you can spend. It would totally revolutionize how money is made in the league. It would say the more you develop players and sell them at big prices overseas, the more you get to go and add that to your cap and then go out and buy more players that you think are worthwhile. It would grow the cap in a natural way that wouldn't put anybody in any financial situation, because let's say you're 10 million in the hole, you just sold the player for 20 million. Well, now you're 10 million out of the hole. So if you wanted to use some of it to get out of the hole or build a new stadium or put it towards building a new stadium, you could do whatever you want with it. But if you ultimately wanted to spend it on buying players, you should be able to do that too. That's one way to get past this whole cap thing and get rid of the funny money business that's going on. Or it wouldn't get rid of it, would supplement the funny money even. So we're talking about raising the general amount of money the teams are going to be able to spend. And anyhow, that would be nice. It's a thought. Don't know if it's going to happen. Probably not. Yeah, exactly. All right, we got one more segment to go. And since we spent 20 minutes fucking around with our technology today, let's get to it before I age and die. Good night. That hurt.